Welcome, everyone. This is Tamara Bond Williams. I'm here from WMHA New York, Channel 19. We've got breaking news, and I'm very excited to talk once again about our ongoing efforts as a cluster to meet very ambitious, very important goals and utilizing the Institute tool of our cluster reflection gathering. So we've been having a number of interviews as we've gone along. I'm very excited to have yet another interviewee joining me today, Mr. John Watson from the city of Poughkeepsie, where I also am, is joining us on the newsreel today. So welcome, John. How are you?
I'm fine. Doing well, Tamara.
Well, thank you so much for being here and for making time for this interview. Um, we are always excited to have someone join the newsreel and share their thoughts and reflections. And yeah, so oh, by the way, I don't know, we as Baha'is sometimes have family members who are celebrating other holidays. Did you celebrate Christmas?
Uh, Not really.
Not this year. Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
we we kind of stayed home, and um, we did enjoy some nice chocolates that my sister sent me,
That's very nice. Yeah,
which she
I'm
does every year, which we appreciate very much.
very, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I actually got a chance to go down with my husband to visit my sister-in-law in the Bronx, and we had way too much food with way too many people, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So, well, so we've been talking about the cluster reflection gatherings, and as I mentioned in my introduction, we've been
right.
having those conversations with various people around the cluster. What's been your experience thus far with the cluster reflection gatherings that we've been having?
Um, my experience is it's always been very friendly and increasingly loving and unified. And it's a good thing. It feels good to go to, and it feels good to be a part of it, whatever small way.
Yeah. Did you have before we started this, because I guess we are now about four cycles in. We've had about four different cycles, I think. But did you have expectations of cluster reflection gatherings before we were having regular ones?
Thought there would be more specific plans and such,
Hmm.
um, which sort of put me in trepidation about, oh, can I do what's being asked? And um, uh, I'm somewhat relieved on that score, but it's still at the same time wanting to do more.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean that's interesting. You had an expectation that we were going to be, you know, kind of given marching orders is what it sounds like. Was that your feeling about it? Like, oh, we're gonna have to do stuff, it's gonna be a lot, and it has not been that way, is what you're saying?
But I felt encouraged.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I definitely
Okay.
felt encouraged.
Yeah. So speaking of which, so at the last reflection gathering, I always ask what first of all, did you have a good time at the last reflection gathering? Was it worth the trip? Because it was kind of actually we were kind of close. We were here in Hopewell Junction on our side last time, but was it encouraging? Was there anything interesting that happened at the last reflection gathering?
Oh, the interesting thing was the skit
There was a
that
skit.
Marie McNair recorded with some of her family members, and we made I think it was her family members,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. What was the skit about?
It was it was about learning. Uh, it was about teaching and doing core activities with people and expanding on those, the first core activity to make new devotionals, as you have a, say you have a study class or a fireside perhaps, and you make it start out with on a regular basis with prayers. So that's a devotional.
Yeah.
And you can meet and have pass some time a day and have an elevated conversation with somebody you know and care about on a regular basis, and start with and include some prayers.
Yeah.
And that makes it a devotional. So
I noticed that you've said this twice now. You said on a regular basis. I think that is right, the part of the core definition of what a devotional gathering is. And so what I remember from that event was just it's kind of funny. The poor one person in the skit was over busy, just so busy that she just couldn't possibly imagine having another devotional gathering. She's just like, where am I going to do it? I don't have time. I'm doing so much for the faith. I'm feeling overwhelmed. And then her friend in the skit was able to say, right, but every one of those spaces that you do on a regular basis, you can add prayers to that process, and then you have a devotional gathering, right? And so I
right.
think we all kind of got a kick out of that. She's, I'm so busy. I think we were almost chanting that at the end, right? So, well, okay. So was there anything else that's just struck you that was really particularly encouraging about the last devotional gathering?
uh, Bringing food and sharing it.
Yeah, I think that's always a highlight. We do that very well in our cluster.
Yes.
Okay, we have some big goals as a cluster. Obviously, we've been named a goal cluster, which means that we are targeting having 100 core activities, hopefully by Rizwan 2025. Um, have you felt that the cluster reflection gatherings that we've been having, have you felt that they've been helping us meeting the goals, and in what ways?
Yeah. I know they've been just the increasing levels of unity and uh, people being on our mind because we see them more often. This and getting along well, and the unity helps us feel supported when we contemplate uh, doing the core activities, starting new ones.
One thing that occurred to me is that we have this goal. It's a big one, right? Because I think when we started out, we had a very small number, not certainly not even close to half of the goal. And we're building up, but starting a new core activity, um, starting the devotionals is the easy one, right? Because we have activities that we're already doing and that they can be, with just a small tweak, we can turn them into a devotional gathering. That was the gist of the video. But, starting a children's class or starting another study circle or starting a junior youth group, these are big, big, big goals. And they're not easily
Yeah.
done. Um, and so that unity that you're speaking about, I think that's really important, that we know that we can count on each other for support.
So with the encouragement of the unity and fellowship that helped us has helped us coming up with plans and organizing ourselves to do other things that are like going around having meeting people on a specific block and looking for a receptive population. So,
Yeah. Well, one thing that I think that we've had really reinforced, I think, is this idea of having a culture of learning, which is to say, I think, at least I think, is that there's no success and failure in that sense. There's learning, right? This thing we learned works well. This thing that we learn, not as much, right? And so when we have these cluster reflection gatherings, that learning and being able to share that learning with one another can help us accelerate, because
yeah.
my experience is supporting your experience and that kind of thing. I mean, what did that message come through in the last gathering?
Being able to share experiences is and ideas and ideas that worked and some ideas that didn't work makes for fertile ground for new seeds of. So it's cross fertilization and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so we have our next one coming up on the 19th of January. The cluster's getting together again, I think in Warwick, New York. And well, let's start with that. Are you looking forward to it? And what are you looking forward to for our next one?
I am looking forward to it. I'm actually not very sure what we'll be doing exactly, but I know that we will learn things and gradually I'll be able to absorb what the regional council is trying to help us with.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. I think that you are probably speaking for a lot of people and feeling like it's a very overwhelming, it's a lot to take in. And how do I process all of it, you know? But like you say, I think this idea of showing up and participating and contributing is
Yep.
how we get there. So,
Yes, just showing up.
yeah.
Say it's a process. Uh, and it's an ongoing organic process.
Mhm.
One thing grows into another. Some leaves, you drop some leaves or a twig or two, and you grow another one in a better place. And eventually the tree grows into something very significant and worthwhile.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. And that is the task before us, is to grow from these very small sprouts that are happening around the cluster into something beautiful and lush and verdant, as Abdul Baha frequently says. And I'm the one looking forward to seeing us when we arrive at that next level. So, and I'm very grateful to be on this journey with all of us. So. Well, John, I want to thank you so much for making time to be here with WMHA 19 for the news update. And I want to wish you a happy Gregorian New Year. If I don't speak to you before then, actually I will, because we have choir rehearsal. So we'll see you before then. But even so, I wish you very well, and love to Deirdre and love to Daisy.
All right. God
Okay.
bless.
God bless. Have a
Yeah.
wonderful
Bye,
rest of today.
everybody. My
And
love
for
to everyone.
WMHA, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank John Watson for sharing this time with us and helping us gain a little more insight into the work of our cluster. And with that, this is Tamara Bond Williams signing off.